This is the Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Project Town Hall. This is second in the series. We developed this, this series because of the COVID pandemic. We can't get out as much as we want to right now with everything going on with the COVID. So we're trying to come up with different topics. And tonight's topic is paid paranormal investigations and other paranormal events. Want to get everyone's opinion. We'll provide our opinion and maybe even share some experiences in some locations. If everybody wants to introduce themselves, it's on the line now. Again, I'm Tony. I'm the founder of M.A.P.P. Shane?
Hi, I'm Shane. I'm the tech manager of M.A.P.P.
I'm Kjo.
I can't really hear out here.
I'm Ike. I'm with Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Investigations. Am I still on?
Yep.
Okay. It's like everybody freezes. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Investigations. What else do you need to know?
You guys are out of West Virginia.
West Virginia. Actually, the headquarters in Harris lives in Martinsburg, West Virginia. I live in Charlestown, West Virginia. But we've got members in, especially a lot in Northern Virginia and Maryland. So, and some Pennsylvania. It's not a four state thing. Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania.
And Ike's famous. He's been on several television shows. So we appreciate you blessing us tonight.
Not big time, but yeah. I was nervous about this, okay?
All right, Horton, you're up, buddy.
All right. Well, my real name isn't Horton. I go by Horton because I don't like people knowing my real name. Yeah, I'm a weirdo, but still. My YouTube channel is Horton Paranormal. I contact spirits on my Speaking with Spirit series. I'm using devices. That's all I do.
Hey, thanks for joining. We were just doing introductions. Could you introduce yourself?
Sure. I belong to a group called the Old Ghost Patrol. Original member and founder. There was 4 of us. We're down to 2 guys right now that are active. Been doing it for close to 10 years or so. Residential, historic, love the paranormal, love the challenge, the search, the knowledge, the learning, everything about it.
Cool.
That's good. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep. Again, this is our second in the series, the Town Hall, Paranormal Town Hall. Tonight's topic is paid locations. We want to share some experiences and get everyone's opinion, if they're worth it, if it's, if it's all the hype, just get more personal opinions about paid locations. M.A.P.P. has a team, the Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Project. We've been, I think it's 4 or 5 as a team. We've been to Selma in Pennsylvania. We've been to the Haldeman Mansion in Pennsylvania, White Hill in New Jersey, and Shane, you've been on a few with Gettysburg, with M.A.P.P, Gettysburg, and Harpers Ferry, am I correct?
Yeah, no, Apollo Theater.
Apollo Theater, yes, correct. Okay. Did I miss anything? Kjo, anybody?
I think you got them all.
Okay. Anybody else want to say what, where they've been or any known popular paid locations in your area? I mean, we have Eastern State Penitentiary nearby. We have Penhurst nearby. We have never gone as a team. I live here in Delaware, so I also have Fort Delaware, Peapatch Island. It's also a paid location. There is actually a team that has that contracted through the state to run that. But we have not gone as a team over to the island to see the old Civil War prison. But that's what's in our area, but we have not been to those places just yet. Anybody else want to share?
Here in Atlantic City, there's that Absegami Lighthouse. Some people might pronounce it as the Absegami Lighthouse, but it's Absegami. They want to charge $400 an hour to.
Wow. Is that for a team or for one person?
That's for anybody that wants to go there.
Okay.
And like me, I'm too poor to even pay $100. So Like that's a no-go for me. And like I was like, dude, is there like any way you would like cut down the price to like a giant big discount to like $60? Because like I'm poor. And they're like, no, I'm sorry, we just can't do it. It has to be $400 for an hour.
Wow.
Man.
And I'm like,
the ghost better come home with me or feed me for that price.
yeah, really, you know, like, and I'm like, how do I know if it's even, you know, haunted there?
Yeah.
Like you could just be saying it's haunted. So that way, if I'm paying $400, I might as well fake my videos just so I can get something out of it if it's not really haunted. And I won't do that, even if I could afford it. So I'm not doing it.
Ike, you want to share some of your locations that you've been to?
Our locations, yeah, we've been to several, but we actually host publics at the Paxton Manor in Leesburg, Virginia, and the Apollo Theater in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We are actually, in that case, the hosts of public ghost hunts that people pay to come, and we take them around, take them on ghost hunts. And I mean, yeah, and but let me know which way you want, because I can give you both ends. I love going up to the public ghost hunts in Gettysburg, like Spooky's Ghost Tours, Gettysburg Ghost Tour. They're awesome, great ghost hunts. That's fun. You will have contamination, of course. Hosting them is stressful.
Yeah.
Because you can't make a ghost happen, and you've got people looking at you like you're some hero that can snap your finger and make a ghost walk across the room. So that's what, you know, my two ends of it. Fun to do, awesome fun to do, hard to be the host, stressful to be the host.
I can imagine. Yeah. And some of the locations you have that's in Gettysburg or Harpers Ferry, you're only charging because you guys are a meetup group too. So the fee that you're charging isn't really for the location, but more or less for the group fee to get together and do everything. Am I correct?
I'm really not picking. I didn't hear you very well.
Shane, can you hear me? Could you repeat that?
I can hear you. Well, for Harpers Ferry, most of the time for those meetups, it is free. For folks that aren't members of M.A.P.P, there is usually a $15 fee. And I think that just covers their administrative stuff that they do as a team, which I don't think is bad. $15 is pretty reasonable. I don't mind it. It's good to get to know people, other people in other groups, and see their styles and you know how they operate. Plus those that are novice that want to come out and kind of dip their toe in the water. I think it's a good opportunity for them to see equipment and see that sometimes ghost hunting is not all active. You know, it's a lot of sitting around and waiting, and a lot of folks don't know that. So for $15, that's a pretty, you know, inexpensive way to go kind of.
Right. They learn it's not like the TV shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Buffington, do you would like to share any of the locations near you or any paid locations you've been to?
Yeah, no problem. And please call me Craig.
Okay.
Don't have to be formal. But Tony, I live in South Jersey. So Tony, you mentioned quite a few places I've already been to and we've already done.
Okay.
But other places, you got the Burlington County Prison in Mount Holly. They host them quite often. And Fort Mifflin, right by the Philadelphia Airport. Matter of fact, I was there Saturday night. And they host them all the time. That place is phenomenal.
Is it? Do you know the rate for Fort Mifflin?
I'm sorry?
Do you know the rate for Fort Mifflin?
Yeah, they $45 a person, so it's really not that bad. But they do require a minimum of people. They had a max of 40, and I think the minimum was 20. But that was for what we did Saturday night. Normally, though, I think it's $400 for the evening. It's 4 hours. I think that's what the price is. So it's very reasonable, and they do it almost every weekend. So,
is that for public, or can you rent it out can a team rent it out by themselves? And
absolutely.
A private one? Okay.
Yes, a team can rent it out as well. Okay. And if anybody's never been there, I highly suggest it. The place is phenomenal. It's off the walls. It really is good. Okay. So, but there was 40 people there, and I think it was just a bit overcrowded.
Yeah.
You know, it was Interstate Paranormal is the one that hosted it, and it seemed like the novices all went with them. So, and that was good, but you know, there was large groups that followed around. So it was just a little awkward doing EVP sessions when there's a lot of people. That's the main thing.
We had a similar experience at the White Hill Mansion. a lot of other people, a lot of other teams, and you get a lot of interference when you're doing
Right.
an EVP session, stuff like that. Once or twice, everybody will get together, like in the basement of Halderman, White Hill, and everybody did one big EVP session. So they all work together. But other than that, when we're walking free through the house, you know, you get so many people coming in and out while you're doing the EVP session. But
Right.
you know, out of all the places you guys been, what has been your favorite? Would you say?
Also, Fort Mifflin, I already said the praises of it, but another one of my favorites is White Hill Mansion. I love that place.
Okay.
I can't get there enough.
When we were there, we heard a very distinct, I think it's on our YouTube channel, very distinct female voice saying no cameras. Or was it female? I can't hear it. Everybody else hears it, but I hear people repeating it. But it says no cameras. And of course, people were there taking pictures at the time. It was very, very distinct. But as they heard it, they said it out loud, repeating what it said. And that was one of our most compelling evidence that we captured there.
It was a female voice.
It was a female voice, yeah. I went up when we went up to the attic. One of the rooms up in the attic, there's actual writing on the walls. I copied down the kids' names and looked them up, and actually contacted somebody who actually played in that attic with the previous owners when it was occupied. And it was neat talking to her. And she did lose contact with the girl that she used to play with, but she did say that the house, especially the basement, had a lot of activity when they were there. They stayed out of the basement. They only played up in the attic where they felt safe. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Ike, do you want to share your favorite places?
Well, there's been so many. I mean, the team itself goes to a lot of them. I don't go to because of, as Shane will tell you, I've kind of got my restrictions of about 100 miles. So they go to Moundsville every year. They go to West Virginia every year, West Virginia Penitentiary. Everybody wants to get to Tala eventually. I wouldn't mind getting there myself. My favorites everywhere in Gettysburg. I love Gettysburg. But I'm going to have to say the most haunted one I've been in is probably Paxton Manor.
Okay.
A lot of bad things have happened to me there. So I would say that's probably my most haunted one.
What's happened to you?
Oh, well, I've actually had some. It's the only place where I've had physicality, where I was going toward the safe. It was a public. I'm walking toward the safe with my ghost box, saying, look at that money. Somebody rubs up against me, literally against me, shows. And I'm thinking it's one of the guests saying, because I say, look at this money, it looks real. As I look over to get ready to say, it looks real, doesn't it? There's nobody there. It was, but I felt clear as day. It wasn't just a touch. It was literally physically pushed up against me, like somebody would have been coming over your shoulder, looking in to see what you were saying. And I've had, on one of the publics, I had a girl grabbed. And then on one of our own investigations, one of our girls named Elizabeth, I got her, and because of one of my moods one night, I got her scratched. So, of course, I've gotten that flashlight. We have XL200 that gets tapped, and that has happened several times. Tons of EVPs, great ghost box responses, some of the best I ever got. Like, they tap the light, right? And I keep saying, can you please touch the light? I get a response, I touched it for you. A whole sentence on my radio shack hack, I touched it for you. Stuff like that. It's been one of the best. Now, granted, let's remember I've been there like 30 times. So there is sometimes I go there and probably put the guests to sleep. But sometimes you know how it goes. So, that's probably my most haunted one because of just I've had physicality, I've had people scratched. Just stuff like that.
Jane, Joe, do you guys have any other questions you want to ask? Anything else we should review?
Well, I mean, for me, it's, what's your limit of how much you would pay for an investigation? Like we've talked about the $15. I think that's the low end of what everybody would pay. Well, there's free, of course. That's the best, price for admission. But, what caliber Holy Grail, like Eastern State, Trans-Allegheny. Some of these places are starting to get crazy. Moundsville.
Mount was 90 and Tal was 100. At least they were.
Okay. Well, I think 4 or 5 years ago, I went to Moundsville and paid 60.
Yeah, they're 100 for a public. If you want a private, then it gets even in the real stupid money.
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah.
1,000 plus, I think.
Which Harris only wants to do privates, which is like impossible.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's an interesting question because, point. Like we went to White Hill, and I think we paid 40 some odd dollars. And it was nice to say we've been there, we've done that. But at the end of the day, there was so much contamination in all the recordings and audio and video that it was really all worthless. You really couldn't prove anything because there were so many people talking, and you could hear through the walls because the walls were
contamination. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where the ghost box comes in. That's either is an answer or it isn't. Where you're right, EVPs, especially on a public, EVPs are like, they're worthless because contamination.
Yeah. So what for public, when you're going, what's the drop dead bottom dollar that you'll pay to go, or will you not even go?
You asking me or you asking everybody?
Everybody. You can go ahead.
I'll say my average would be 30 to 35. I think I would pay 100 for Tala, but only Tala. 90 for Moundsville. One time screwed up, Harris actually offered it to me for 45 because somebody canceled out and he wanted to get me half their money back. And I still didn't go to 45, but 90 steep, but I don't know. I would say 100 for Tala, but everything else 25 to 35 bucks.
Okay.
How about you, Craig?
Me, I don't want to go over 50. I mean, if there's some kind of big draw, big location, or maybe some of the television ghost hunters might be there or something like that, I'll jump up to 100. But normally 50 is my cap.
Okay.
Yeah. Generally, as a team, we have done the paid. We try to stay away from the paid events, just because we want to go out into the community and do places, like everybody else does. But we try not to do the paid ones. But if we do, to me, it all depends on the size of the crowd. So if it's a less people going, I'm going to pay more. But if there's a lot more people, either I don't want to go at all or I want to pay a lower fee.
So that's very true. Very true. Good point.
Well, it also depends on the time frame because we all know by 1 o'clock, the general public leaves. They're usually out of there. They don't last, past, they're like Cinderella at midnight. They're like, oh, the bell just rang. I'm gone.
Yeah.
You just brought up a point. Kjo and I did do Gettysburg. We did Stewart's Farm, and it was a paid event. And there was it wasn't a lot of people, but you have enough space. You've been to Stewart's Farm. You have a lot of outdoors to do and inside the inn to actually investigate. And it was pretty much spaced out pretty good. But I think what happened was everybody was gone by 12 o'clock. Am I right, Kjo? And we stayed until 3, until it was over. I think we're very few, besides the host, we're the last ones there. That wasn't too many other people that hung around.
I think they would have liked us to leave, but we were just getting started.
And we're getting our money's worth.
We stayed till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
You're those guys we have at the Paxton, because that crazy thing they say is till 6, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Got a lot of mosquito bites that night, but it was worth it.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. And, of course, that ends at 3. I mean, that's not an unreasonable quitting hour. Mm-hmm. But 6 is kind of an unreasonable quitting hour. And we always pray that, Jesus, everybody goes home.
We've only been to 1 or 2 locations.
That crowd like you guys that's going to wait till all the others leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go in and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first went to Haldeman in Pennsylvania, it was in the middle of a snowstorm. And it was a hike to get there, and it was cold. We got in there at a good price because they had already turned off the heat and everything else. Luckily, the electric was on, but we were able to get in there. This is a couple years back, and it was cold as can be. And everybody else, I think you guys left around 1 or 2, I think it was, or was it closer to 3?
I think we went to 2. I think you went way past that, but we
Yeah,
went to,
yeah. We stayed until about 5 o'clock in the morning until it just barely broke daylight, and then we left.
It
I
was
went to snow
17
stuff.
degrees.
Yeah, it was.
17
It was cold.
degrees.
It was cold. But yeah.
yeah. When I first joined M.A.P.P, the one major thing I got lectured on was I don't care what time you want to. We're staying to the end. That was the big thing. Do you agree to that? Yes, I agree to that. I had to raise my right hand and swear I wouldn't be the first one to relent and want to go home early. And so when we went to Haldeman and it was 17 degrees, it was the first time ever I've ever seen Keijo say, you know what, it's not worth it tonight. I'm leaving.
Yeah. I was pretty done. I was dressed very appropriately, but 17 degrees is damn cold.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but the thing is,
we had to take warm breaks. We all had to snuggle around a heater to warm up, to then go back into the rest of the mansion where it was an iceberg to ask questions. So we had to have breaks just to get warm.
Yep.
but of course, the person I stayed back with, we got a lot of activity after everybody else left. It was just the two of us there. So to me, I think it was worth staying the extra 2 or 3 hours.
And now Tony's missing toes.
Little frostbite. And we couldn't tell if it was our breath we're seeing or a spirit's breath that we were seeing. So has anybody ever paid for anything other than investigations? But have you ever paid to go to like a Paracon or any other type of paranormal event? I have never personally been to a Paracon.
We had one a couple years ago.
I've been to the one in Woodbridge in New Jersey. It's $20.
Okay.
That's a good price.
$20, okay.
Yeah.
Now, help me understand. I know we might be getting off topic a little bit, but when you go to a Paracon and there's a bunch of us teams like us set up, what are you going for? Everybody has the same equipment. For the most part, has the same equipment. Everybody has the same type of evidence to show. What are the booths for? What is it that you're going for besides the guest speakers or to investigate that location that the Paracon's being hosted at?
Well, if I'm going to the booths, I'm looking for somebody I may know to say, hey, how you doing? I know a lot of people out there.
Networking.
Yeah, networking, basically, that type of thing.
Okay.
Because I always try to jump on other groups and go on their investigations when I can,
Mhm.
and because I invite people, they invite me. So,
Okay.
networking, like you said, that's always a good thing.
Mhm.
And sometimes you do see a new piece of equipment that you may have seen somewhere, never seen it work. Get to play with it a little bit, get to learn a little bit more about it. So, and there's also some, I guess you could say, gift places that sell bric-a-brac and stuff.
Okay.
You take a look at some of the neat stuff they have for sale, T-shirts, what have you.
Mhm.
So,
We like seeing people with new inventions who create their own equipment
yes. Mhm.
and see what they have and see, if it's worth, investing in or trying to grab it ourselves. So we have interviewed a few people that have their own products out there. They're just getting started and stuff like that. So,
Right.
Cool that you guys that you're able to hop on teams and kind of share experiences. That's really cool.
Yeah, about power unity. I mean, we're all doing it together. Might as well stay together.
Yeah.
So, nothing wrong with that. I'm not in competition with anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
we feel the same way.
Good.
Yeah. What's there to be in competition for?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
We all have the same goal. So,
Mhm. And you're close, so you're more than welcome to join us at any time. We're trying to get some locations on the calendar now. We'll see. Definitely. We'll keep you posted.
oh, that sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Same here.
We are going. I don't know if you heard earlier. We are going to be going out to West Virginia. Will be our first time just going as an open group and inviting people to show up at Harpers Ferry in West Virginia. That it will be a hike for you.
All right.
I'm in Delaware. It's about a 3-hour drive for me, so only a half hour for Shane and Keijo.
And 10 minutes for me.
Oh wow! I want to hear about your troubles.
I can walk there in shorter time than you drive.
Have you
but-
investigated there a lot in Harpers Ferry?
Yeah, I go down there a lot.
Do
That's
you,
a-
It's only outside. We've never been in. Then we just go down lower town.
okay, so you're not in buildings, you're out on the streets.
The monument, Hog
Okay.
Alley, the burned out church
Okay,
are some of the top locations for us.
right.
Oh, and now we've newly started getting into the tunnel and fort. Because
Okay.
I caught a shadow there.
That raises another point. If you pay for a location, would you pay to go there more than once, or is it a one and done type of situation? If you're paying $50, would you go back there annually? Is it something where, hey, I did it, I'm done? Or if there's a lot of evidence, okay, maybe I'll go back every so many years. What's your viewpoint on that?
I can tell you, if the activity is not worth the hype, I'm not going back. You know, I've been back to a lot of places more than once.
I did it a couple times though, because you don't know by one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't say you hit the wrong time. Just like the Paxton, I took some crews in there. I know, say, what's this place ain't haunted, because that night it's not. And so, a couple times, I mean, I would go back. Yeah, I go back a lot. I go back to everything. I'm actually burned out of the Paxton. We go so much, but yeah. But I would go back to other places a lot. Yeah. Not a lot. I don't have the money, but yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. Once I've gone to a place, I want to move on and go to someplace new. I'm not, unless, especially if I'm paying for it.
We were going to do the Brunswick Railroad Museum this year until COVID-19 hit. And I was really looking forward to that.
Yes, I was too. I was planning to do that one.
That one too, huh? Okay, yeah.
For the past 3 years, I've been trying to go to the Atlantic County Health Department, but for some reason, there's some unknown force that don't want me to go there. Every time I try to get in there, something keeps me from going in.
Oh, no.
Like this year was COVID. Last year it was a blizzard.
Oh, geez.
Stop going there. We don't want no more COVID-19.
Yep. Has COVID stopped a lot of the pay locations that you guys see out there? You guys been to? Because I know we're having a hard time getting in anywhere, even the private ones right now. We have been out. We've repeated places we've done before, besides private residents that we're getting calls for. But they're, the places we've been to before, like restaurants or historic inns, they'll bring us back every now and then during this. I think we went to one place recently that we've gone to before, and we've probably had 2 or 3 private investigations since COVID. But at the very beginning, we weren't seeing anything at all from April to March to, I guess it was June 1st, I think was the first time we got to investigate again.
Yep.
But,
The only place I've been is down Harpers Ferry a couple of times since it's happened. I haven't went
You
out.
go by yourself?
No, we go down sometimes.
As a
Couple.
group? You don't ever go by yourself?
Oh, no, just downtown? Yeah, I'll go down. Not at night usually, but I will go
Okay.
down by myself, yeah. I go down there a lot.
Does anybody ever, because I know it's a national park, does the Park Service ever stop you, ask what you're doing or anything?
No, it's because the lower town, I wouldn't recommend after dark going out into the park, but the lower town is in town. So they said that basically it'd be like telling people they couldn't go outside their house. So as long as you stay out of trouble. Matter of fact, a deputy sheriff pulled up that one evening, and Shane tell you about that and just chatted with us. So yeah, no troubles.
You wasn't concerned, I guess.
We lose
So I said,
tonight?
"Oh,
Oh.
huh? Can't hear you."
Oh, she was asking. I
Oh.
definitely wasn't that concerned. No, he wasn't concerned. He actually was curious of what we were doing and thought it was really cool that night. I got to tell you, it scared me a little bit when you turn around and you see a police officer and a cruiser standing behind you. Kind of scared me a little bit. It just kind of, caught us all, I think, off guard.
That's the new TV show, Paranormal Delinquents.
Well, I could star in it.
Yeah, I think we've got stopped once we're in a small town and a police officer pulled up and walked over the car, said, please don't laugh, but we are paranormal investigators. What's that? Ghost hunters. Oh, have a nice night, and just drove right off. Yep. So, well, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight, trying to share, sharing your experiences with paid locations. Again, it all depends on the location. I guess I think we did touch it. the one place, your bucket list, paid location. Did we already touch that already? Like, where would you definitely go, regardless of the price, is on your bucket list?
Holy Grail?
Holy Grail? Yeah. Where would you go? Anybody?
I got one.
What's that?
Well, the one that everybody always uses is the White House, but we all know that would never, ever, ever, ever happen. But the
Yeah, that
one
would be cool.
I would say would be the Stanley Hotel.
Okay.
I'd like
Maybe
to
you
do. I'd like to do the Queen Mary.
That'd be nice. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I have always wanted to go to Gettysburg.
Oh, that's a simple one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. How about you, Craig? You have
That's
that one?
mine's simple. Mine's simple too. Mine's really Tala. I would love to get to Tala one day. And that's only a couple 100-mile away, but that's the one.
Let's make that happen.
Oh, it could happen if we get $100 and the right weekend and the right gang together.
Well, I think between the
Go to a
two,
couple.
I think between the two groups, and I'm sure Craig could round up some folks. I don't know Craig, but I'm sure everybody would love to go to Trans-Allegheny. We combined the efforts of 3 teams, and that would be cool.
I'm in.
That place is awesome.
Have you been to Trans-Allegheny, Craig?
I have not, no. That's on my bucket list.
Okay, good.
Mine
You just
too.
did a tour, right?
What's that?
You just did a tour, right?
Yeah, I've done a tour two times now, I guess. It's just because I've been in the area for other reasons, and so I've stopped in, and I guess I've been there 3 times now, but I haven't been able to do a paranormal investigation, which is what I would like, without a group of other people. Like, I want to do it with investigators that know what they're doing, not open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the public's okay though because it's so large.
It is very, very big. There's no doubt.
That they put you in different groups, and your group, like if we all get together as a group, they would put us. We would have our own wing.
Yeah.
For an hour, 2 hours, then we go to a whole another wing. We never would even see other people. They say that's what everybody that's been there says. You really don't know. The public is really so big that you don't run into the other people.
It is very creepy. I was just there last week, and it's just phenomenally huge. I took a more in-depth tour that was 2.5 hours, so we really got to see a lot of the building. And it's just amazing the parts that have not been restored and how badly deteriorated they are, and how much lead paint and asbestos and it's just peeling off the walls. It's very, very creepy. And they said their intention is to leave some of it like that, just so you can see the difference in what it looks like restored versus not.
Yeah, the place I really want to go to, my top place right now is probably Hillsdale in New York. I want to go to the Hillsdale house.
Okay.
Do you believe that hype? You believe the hype of Hillsdale?
Well, I know people that have been there. They said if you go, you got to go 2 nights. The first night is fun, it's eventful. The second night, the house comes alive.
Really?
So, yes, you got to do 2 nights.
What's that book at for a team?
I priced it a couple years ago. I started making plans to go, and it just fell apart. And it's not outrageous. I think it was in the $400 or $500 range, something like that. So it wasn't bad.
Wow. For unlimited people or a minimum of 10?
I think there was a minimum, but we were well under the minimum, so I didn't really worry about it.
Okay.
But I mean, it was reasonably priced. It wasn't bad.
That'd be an interesting place to go.
Yeah. I was going to make a long weekend out of it, but it just all fell apart.
Maybe together we can try to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm in. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We should have called this the bucket list show.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
All right. Did everybody give their holy grail? I think so, right?
Yeah, I think we did. Yep.
Tony, you didn't.
Oh, I just want to go to any type of asylum. There's an old asylum in Ohio. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'm trying to look it up, but there's a place in Ohio I want to get to. Any type of old asylum I want to go into. So.
The Ohio State Asylum. I think it's
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
Waverly Hills, or is that in Kentucky?
But yeah, any type of old asylum, I definitely want to try.
I can't remember where that one's located, Ike.
Something reformatory for the one in Ohio.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think
Yeah.
it's Ohio State Reformatory.
Okay. Yep. So,
Interesting.
Yep.
It's always funny to hear people, people that have been, well, we were talking about, some of the shows that have just popped up, and they'll go to a location, and then all of a sudden that location's hot. And, we've, through these Zoom meetings, we've talked about this, and it's always funny. People are like, oh, I've been there, and it wasn't really much. So I think you're right. You definitely got to give these places a couple of nights before you can kind of discount it for what it is. But we've been to places where you instantly walk in the door and the curator's trying to sell you on, the split piece soup that's all over the floor and the heads that have turned, 360 degrees. And they're really trying to sell the place hard. And that's so off-putting when you walk in the door. So if anybody watching this is a curator of one of these places, don't do that. Just let the place sell itself. I mean, there's nothing more turn investigators off than when you walk in and they're telling you about the ghost cat or the or how many doors that slammed right before we got there. It's so annoying. I don't know if you guys have the same experience, but just let the place speak for itself. No pun intended.
The Flounders Hotel in Ocean City is known for that. They love telling everybody how I forget what the girl spirit name is, but she supposedly haunts every room in the hotel.
Nice.
And like they'll go and tell the whole backstory, every room that she haunts, everything, and try to make it like the whole place is like this absolute haunted hotel. Like, oh my God, it's so scary there.
Wow. Hopefully it works for him, I guess. All right.
okay. I think we come to the end of the session. I hope everybody enjoy themselves. I hope that you come back again when we have our next town hall session. By all means, please send us some topics. We were trying to come up with different topics, and we came up with this topic at the last bit. So if there's anything that you'd like for us to discuss, anything in the community, again, it's all about unity and just sharing the experiences and stuff. So definitely reach out to us, give us some topics. And we'd love to have you guys back. And again, we look forward to investigating and networking and joining forces.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you very much.
Good.